Hello and welcome back to Final Fantasy Tactics. We are a little bit underleveled, so my original plan for today was that we were going to grind up some levels and, make sure that our characters were close to the levels of the enemy. However, we're not going to be able to do that this episode, as the next place that we need to go is right here. So it could be that there's another bit of combat right here that we're going to have to do. I have no idea. But before that, we have some Chronicle stuff to go through. We also have some reading material specifically given to us that we don't know anything about, so yeah. Let's work out what order we're doing this in. Let's do Oracite first.
What will the light of the stones reveal to you?
Oh, that's cool. It now tells you who has them. So we now know that all three of the stones are held by this guy, and then one stone is held by Weegraf, who is also turned into whatever it is. I'm just trying to see if it told us. No, but yes. He's turned into whatever his new form is.
Safe travels.
Interesting. Okay. Next, let's do an event check.
Let us trace the journeys of those who shaped history.
The Elder's Revelation. By the time Ramza arrived at Orbon Monastery, men had already forced their way inside in search of the stone. He found Elder Simon in dire condition, collapsed in the vaults. The clergyman revealed that High Confessor Marcel planned to use the ongoing war as a distraction while he gathered the stones he needed to reform the Zodiac Braves. Ramza asked Alma to stay with the Elder, entrusting her with the stones he carried, while he went in search of the attackers. Ramza entered the vaults of Orbon Monastery and was met with hostility from the church's loyal Knights Templar. One of their number, Isolde, had seized the Virgo stone and made to flee. Ramza attempted to give chase but was met by fresh opposition from none other than Weegraf, much to Ramza's shock and frustration. Ah, there it is. Belias the Gigas. The Knights Templar made off with not only the Virgo stone but Alma as well. Weegraf, who had now joined the Templarate, lay on the brink of death following the Battle of Ramza. In desperation, he bound himself in an infernal contract with the stone he held, allowing the transmigration of a Lucavi, Belias, into his body, then vanished from sight. Elder Simon placed the scriptures of Jomonique in Ramza's care before he passed quietly into the Father's keeping.
Let us speak on this again.
State of the Realm.
To fully understand Ivalician history, one must take a broad view.
Okay. So we still don't have a lot of pieces right now. We're not looking at the greater picture. We're looking kind of small scale. So it's went to Orbon. Now we're in pursuit and they're fled somewhere. Okay. Interesting.
I understand.
And then Encyclopedia.
A deeper understanding may lead to fresh discoveries.
Upon hearing the accusations of heresy leveled at Ramza, she absconded from the Beoulve Mans to aid her brother. However, when they arrived at Orbon Monastery, they encountered the Knights Templar who took Alma hostage. Okay. Any others in here? Actually, I can just do this, right? Yeah, there are no other updates, apparently. Wait, none for Weegraf?
Historical records.
Oh, there are some. Okay, that's fine. Right. Seeing where the new stuff starts. Weegraf's subsequent movements are unknown, but he appears to have now joined the Knights Templar in search of the Zodiac Stones. Yes, true. Anything else? Okay, Lord Commander of the Knights Templar in Malund, centre of the Church of Labados. He is seen as the future leader of the newly formed Zodiac Braves, and, on the instructions of High Confessor Marcel, now scours Ivalice in search of the Zodiac Stones. Though clearly a central figure in the Church's plot, Fulmarv seems to have plans of his own. Isolde Tengil. Oh, okay, so they're related. A Knights Templar in the service of the Church of Labados, Isolde is the true-born son of Fulmarv, the Templarate's Lord Commander. He is also one of the new Zodiac Braves holding the Pisces Stone, and great hope is placed in his ability. Isolde blindly follows the words of his father and holds both the crown and aristocracy in very low regard. His father's ideologies for revolution have taken deep root within him, and he actively seeks to make them a reality. He sees the Oracite as a divine gift, seemingly unaware of the frightening truth behind its power. Oh, we got some more stuff here. Oh, interesting. Look at the final line. He is a devout member. He was a devout member. Okay. After the War of the Lions broke out, he split from Duke Goltanna's faction to assume a neutral stance, to which the Duke responded by invading Limbury. In the battle that followed, Marquis Emdor was thought to have died after being struck by an arrow on the Foos Plains. Oh, he's just dead. Okay. This is Marcel. Have we seen Marcel before? No, I think we just heard about him. Anyway, High Confessor Marcel V is the leader of the Church of Lobados in Melond, and the mastermind behind many of the plots and schemes that brought about the War of the Lions. By orchestrating this conflict, the High Confessor hopes to regain the Church's lost influence. While fanning the flames of war between Dukes Larg and Goltanna, the High Confessor is using his Knights Templar to search for Zodiac Stones in the hopes of winning over the common people. Elder Simon's only change is that he's dead, basically. Anything else in here? Nope, that's it. Any new locales? I assume the answer is no. And terms, we're not that interested. Okay, reading materials.
These tomes are the product of much sweat and toil.
The Scriptures of Germonique, a historical account of Saint Ajora's life recorded by his disciple Germonique. His very existence has long been denied. I opened the Scriptures of Germonique entrusted to me by Elder Simon and began to leaf through the pages. The words before my eyes were writ in a holy script of the ancients, far beyond my ken. Several illustrations were scattered throughout, but many pages were missing or damaged, and the script was exceedingly difficult to decipher. As I turned the pages, faintly penned words in modern Ivalician script occasionally caught my eye. Notes of an explanatory nature had been added here and there throughout the book, all written in the same hand, though exactly whose I could not say. A faint scent of ink rose from these notes, and as I touched my finger to one of them, the writing smeared, seemed to have been penned only in the last few days. I then realized that these transcripts were most likely Elder Simon's work. He must have devoted a significant portion of his life as custodian of the underground library to deciphering these scriptures, line by painstaking line. I relied heavily on his fragmentary notes as I continued reading. Apparently the Holy Script had been recorded by Germonique, but who was that? The name struck a familiar chord as half-forgotten history lessons rose unbidden in my mind. Then I remembered. Germonique was the disciple of Saint Ajora who betrayed his master, turning him over to the Holy Adoran Empire, and in doing so entrusted his name would live on in infamy. I was astounded that a librum penned by the same Germonique for my history lessons now rested in my very hands. Okay, well, I mean, this is obviously very similar to the Christian, I was trying to think of the right word to use. But yes, it's very similar to the story of Christ, and Germonique would be a Judas-type figure. Saint Ajora was a child of the gods, descended from the heavens to deliver humanity from its self-inflicted chaos. By his prophecies was the word of the divine imparted upon mortal men. After his death, these teachings formed the basis of the Church of Lobados, its name meaning to obey God, in the holy tongue of the ancients. The Church's influence later spread throughout Ivalice, and further afield to Ordallia, Romanda, and beyond. The deeds of Saint Ajora are known to all, and yet I would seek to learn more of his remarkable journey. Saint Ajora's birth came some 1200 years ago in the midst of a golden age of technology when airships yet plied the skies. He was born in Lassalia, in the city of Brevenia. Moments after his birth, he rose to his feet and approached a well. Upon reaching its base, words of prophecy poured forth from its infant lips. A calamity shall soon befall this well. Seal it up at once, that none may drink of it. Some days later, a plague descended upon the town of Brevenia, and all those who drank from the well succumbed to the contagion and perished. Only those families who heeded the prophetic words of Saint Ajora were spared from malady and death. After the incident with the well, the people came to revere Saint Ajora as a portent of miracle and a child of the gods. Then, at the age of 20, his life was cut short. The circumstances surrounding his death are closely tied to the legend of the Zodiac Braves, told throughout Ivalice since ancient times. To trace the story of these fabled warriors, I must delve yet further into the past. Ivalice was not always united as it is today. Long ago, the realm was divided into 7 domains: Fovoham, Lionel, Limbury, Lassalia, Galleon, Zeltenia, and Melont, each warred with the others in a never-ending struggle to expand its own territory. It was the age of feudalism. This conflict had continued for centuries, until an ambitious young king rose to power in Melont. This young monarch dreamt of uniting all of Ivalice under his hand, but the road to victory was a difficult and dangerous one. The king turned to ancient tomes and the dark magics found within, summoning a demon from the netherworld to do his bidding. But once unleashed, the demon slew the king and set out to destroy the very world itself. To combat this monstrosity, a great hero set out on a quest. Together with his 12 comrades, he collected the Zodiac Stones that had been scattered throughout the world and thereby formed the Zodiac Braves. These warriors soon defeated the demon and its minions and banished the creature back to its infernal plane. Their deeds came to be told as the legend of the Zodiac Braves. The Zodiac Braves have since appeared whenever the world balanced on the brink of catastrophe, only to vanish just as quickly once the crisis had been averted. Similar catastrophe threatened the world in the time of Saint Azura. The Liege Lord of Limbury summoned a demon in hopes of seizing control of all of Ivalice, once again plunged the world into chaos, and, just as in the legend, Saint Azura collected the 12 Zodiac Stones. Once again, the Zodiac Braves rose to defeat the marauding demon. Thus was Saint Azura hailed as the world's saviour. However, the sovereigns of any age have small tolerance for the interference of well-meaning heroes. Saint Azura's fame drew the ire of the Holy Adirian Empire, which dispatched soldiers to capture him and his devoted followers. Varism was the prevalent religion in that day, and its priests feared Azura's growing influence. Ultimately, Germanique, the 13th disciple, was tempted by sordid coin, offering vital information that led to his master's capture. The saint was executed upon the gallows of Goltanna soon thereafter. But lest we forget, Saint Azura was a child of the gods. The wrath of the heavens was swift and terrible. Immediately following the execution, Melont, the centre of Far's teachings, was visited by a terrible cataclysm. The skies rained blood, and a storm of golden lightning ravaged the city. The very earth trembled, and with a thunderous roar, Melont sank into the sea. This was the legend with which I was familiar, the very same tale told to every child of Ivalice. But the Saint Azura described within the scriptures of Germanique was a different man altogether. Azura was no child of the gods. He was a mere mortal, no more divine than you or I. He was a revolutionary who fought to realize his own ambitions. He was no lover of peace, no hero who would sacrifice himself for the good of humanity. Germanique wrote of him: as the founder of a new religion with a rising number of followers, Azura was seen no more than a nuisance to the empire. But to the slaves and the destitute, who suffered most under imperial rule, the fair treatment and equal opportunities espoused by Azura appeared as a ray of hope, and he as their saviour. But Azura was apparently more than just a religious founder. He was a saboteur who infiltrated enemy states to collect information and sow disorder. Azura was a spy dispatched to the Holy Adirian Empire by a rival state. His teachings, the faith they inspired and the influence he wielded were but contrivances to enact the downfall of the empire, orchestrated from within its borders by Azura himself. But for all his guile, the Imperials were fully aware of the threat that Azura posed. Germanique was employed to collect evidence that would allow the Empire to arrest Azura as a spy. The 13th disciple was in reality no more than the Empire's instrument in a play to uncover Azura's true intentions. It seemed that Azura indeed attempted to form the Zodiac Braves. Germanique confirmed in his writings that Azura even discovered some of the stones and entrusted them to his closest disciples. But what was his purpose in forming the Zodiac Braves anew? I do not know if the Liege Lord of Limbury actually summoned a demon. Elder Simon's notes speak of his doubts on the matter, and not a single line within the scripture seems to record the event. Nevertheless, it appears the catastrophe in which the greater part of Malund sunk into the sea did indeed coincide with Azura's execution. The footnotes provide further enlightenment. They expressed a different view, no doubt the personal opinion of Elder Simon. Although many spoke of their existence, none had ever set eyes upon the scriptures of Germanique. Some might say they are fraudulent, written with the sole purpose of discrediting Saint Azura. But I know this tome to be authentic. When I served as an inquisitor for the church, those in its upper echelons feared the existence of this work, and the same is no doubt true for the High Confessor. They were all fearful of these writings, for everything contained within them is fact. After Saint Azura's death, the church, which had capitalized on his considerable influence to seize power for itself, had only one task: to conceal his true nature as a human being. This one fact had to be erased from the annals of history. They needed to ensure that Saint Azura be remembered as a child of the gods. Their use of the Zodiac Braves, a legend believed throughout the continent, was a stroke of genius. It was a simple feat to convince the people that Saint Azura had led the Zodiac Braves to defeat a demon that never existed. I realize now I had lost my faith the moment I began to read these scriptures, and yet I feel no sorrow. Thinking back, I now know that my desire to know the truth was stronger than my faith had ever been. But above all, I am as guilty as any in this great travesty. All these years the church had concealed the truth and lied to our flock. Though I am compelled to condemn these acts, I cannot bring myself to do so. Even were I to bring the scriptures before the people, the church would not stand idle. In all likelihood, I would be accused of heresy and burned at the stake. But that is not the true reason for my inaction. This library is everything to me. It is a treasure beyond compare, the only means of slaking my endless thirst for knowledge. If I were to share this book with the world, my precious library would be taken from me. I cannot allow it to be separated from my tomes. I can think of no pain greater. In the end, my curiosity eclipsed my will to do what was right. Within these pages lies the truth hidden by the church for so many years. The miracles of Saint Azura were not but lies, and he but an ordinary man. By interweaving the events surrounding Azura's death with his mendacious teachings, his followers fabricated a means by which to seize power. But is that truly all there is to know? Elder Simon wrote that Saint Azura's demon never existed. I have seen the dark power of the Zodiac Stones with my own eyes. There is an evil presence at work, something much more sinister than even the High Confessor and his twisted plots.
New discoveries await in even the most dog-eared of tomes.
We have now read the entirety of the scriptures of Germanique.
Till next time.
Okay, interesting. So, it's basically, there was some truth, but the church twisted the story to their own ends. Alright. Well, with us having read that, it's time to head to the merchant city of Dorter to track down the Knights Templar who hold Alma captive. Oh, it's not a fight. Okay.
You are the heretic House Beoulve, yes?
Yes?
Who are you? You do not appear to be of the Template.
You will come to Riovani's castle. Your sister will be returned in exchange for the scriptures of Germanique.
Riovanis? What does Grand Duke Barrington have to do with this? I had heard he keeps both Dukes Larg and Goltanna at arm's length, and fields no troops in their conflict. Why would Alma be in his custody? What interest does he have in the book?
Surely you have read the scriptures.
Yes. I've read them.
Yes, I've read them. Could it be the Grand Duke is in league with the Church? If so, having its secrets exposed will be problematic for him too.
I wonder if that option only appears if you actually read them. That would be interesting. Probably not, but be interesting.
You are in no position to make threats. If you wish to see your sister again, you will come to the castle and do nothing extraneous. My lord awaits.
Zeltenia Castle Chapel Ruins. Oh.
So
Okay.
here you are. They've been searching high and low for you. What is it? Are you unwell? Ah, but I forget myself. I hope this day finds your royal majesty in better spirits than those past.
Do not mock me. Please, I could not bear it.
That was cruel of me. I'm sorry.
So, what is it that you mean to do with me? I'm not Avalia. There can be no possible value in holding me.
It doesn't matter whether you're Avelia or not, as long as people believe you're Avelia.
No value, even in my living.
Possibly. You are not Avelia. We do not even know your rightful name, whether even you be highborn or low. No such records remain.
My life until now. What was it all for? Raised to think myself Avelia, I never once suspected that I was merely a replacement for the real princess of the royal family. I alone was confined to a remote monastery, far from the seat of our crown. I alone was made to live in seclusion, and had often wondered why. Even so, this I thought a burden light enough. If it meant the kingdom would know peace. Yet still Ivalice runs red with blood. All this suffering and solitude. What purpose did it serve? How ironic it is. Now that I am free of the monastery, I find myself longing for it. Though I may have been a bird in a cage, at least the song I sang was my own.
It has been the same for me. I was given the wardrobe of a nobleman, and so I played the part. A puppet, ever dancing for patrons unseen. Most men but play the part they're given. Most live and die not knowing they play a part at all. But I am past all that now. I am their puppet no more. I will exact from them the price of the merry dance they lead.
So it still doesn't sound like Delita is really full in on the church's side of things, right? Like the line that he's just said here doesn't sound like, hey, I'm working for the church. This sounds like, hey, I'm using the church, but I'm really looking for, like, revenge.
And just what is it you plan to do?
You must place your trust in me, Avelia. I will burn down this kingdom and build a new one. A kingdom worthy of you. I will show you a world where your light will outshine the sun. A world without darkness. A world where you will always be, Avelia. This is my heart's desire. For you are my purpose. My everything. You will have no more need of tears.
Can I truly trust in you?
I will never betray you. Never. On Titra's soul, I swear it. So come now. Dry your tears.
Oh wow. How far away is this place? Interesting. So is this one in the middle? The walled city of Yardrow is in the middle here. Oh, okay. Well, we now have access to the rest of the map. But, actually, first of all, let's have a look in here. Yes, we got some new stuff. So we got State of the Realm stuff.
The truth may have many facets.
Yeah. So that's just saying what we just
I
saw,
understand.
events.
Here we may learn more.
Ah,
of
I was
pivotal
thinking it might be a
moments in
movie.
history.
Ramza's pursuit of the Knights Templar who still held Alma led him to Dorter and a strange encounter with a mage dressed in unfamiliar garb. He told Ramza to go to Riovans and left without another word. By the will of Duke Goltanna, Ovilia was crowned queen at Zeltenia Castle, but learning the truth of her origins had wounded her deeply. Delita came to console the nascent queen, offering to build her a new kingdom and promising her a life where she would have no more need of tears. These comforting words helped Ovilia in her time of despair. A bond of trust with Delita began to form. Well, let's see the movie.
So here you are. They've been searching high and low for you. Huh. I hope this day finds your royal majesty in better spirits than those past.
Do not mock me. Please, I could not bear it.
That was cruel of me. I'm sorry.
So, what is it that you mean to do with me? I'm not Ivalice. There can be no possible value in holding me. No value, even in my living.
Possibly. You are not Ivalice. We do not even know your rightful name, whether even you be highborn or low.
Of the royal family, I alone was confined to a remote monastery, far from the seat of our crown. I alone was made to live in seclusion, and I had often wondered why. Even so, if my forbearance meant that the kingdom would continue to know peace, I thought it a burden light enough. What was it all for? Still, Ivalice runs red with blood. All this suffering and solitude, what purpose did any of it serve?
It has been the same for me. I was given the wardrobe of a nobleman, and so I played the part. A puppet, ever dancing for patrons unseen. Endeavor is not rewarded. Not in this wretched world. It is the patron and his troop who are the beneficiaries, maggots grown fat on Endeavor's course. An ugly truth, but the truth nonetheless. Most men have no choice but to play the part they are given. And of those, most live and die not knowing they play a part at all. But I am past all that now. I am their puppet no more. I will exact from them the price of their gluttonous feast.
And just what is it you plan to do?
You must place your trust in me, Ivalice. I will burn down this kingdom and build a new one. A kingdom worthy of you. I will show you a world where your light will outshine the sun. A world without darkness. And then, you will have no more need of tears.
Can I truly trust in you?
Know that I will never betray you. On Titra's soul, I swear it. So come now. Dry your tears.
And very similar to the previous ones, although I am noticing that all the movies are Delita movies.
What did these people think?
That's Delita.
What compelled them?
That's Delita. That's Delita. I think that's Delita. Yeah, that's Delita as well. That's Delita. And that's Delita. So it is interesting that every single movie is it's less following Ramza's story and more following Delita's story.
Take care.
Just interesting. Right.
Within lie many historical records.
Outland Mage. A mage about whom very little is known, though it is presumed he is in the employ of Grand Duke Barrington, the Lord of Beoulve's castle. He makes a proposal to Ramza the scriptures of Germany in exchange for Alma's release. Although obviously he's someone more because he's in the encyclopedia. He's not just guy number 5 delivering message. Is that it in here, or are we... I think it might be it.
Safe
Okay.
travels.
Cool. Well, I know we haven't done much combat, or zero combat in this episode, but I think it's a good point to end the episode because next time we have a lot of grinding to do. Like an absurd amount of grinding to do. But yes, I will end the episode here. Thank you very much for watching. I'll see you next time. Goodbye.